Hello everyone, how are you doing today? And thank you so much for being with us one more time, getting informed with 36 News. I am Ricardo Acuña, and the following are our topics. Thank you for joining us. You are watching 36 News. Let's get the information started here. The Spanish authorities intercepted a shipment of cocaine coming from Costa Rica. The discovery was made by the police forces when they researched the container that was transporting a load of cocoa. According to the Spanish broadcaster CER, the shipment arrived at the port of Malaga and was classified as one of the largest shipments of cocaine. The Minister of Public Security, Mario Zamora, confirmed that it was the Costa Rican authorities who alerted Spain about the shipment so that it could proceed with the operation. In addition, the leader explained that an investigation was initiated in this case. So far, the Spanish authorities indicated that the person responsible for the shipment is a citizen of the Canary Islands, and that the agents in charge of the case continue to quantify the amount of drugs intercepted. The Costa Rican government's assurance, backed by the security agencies, that the scanners installed at the Moín port in Limón would prevent drug shipments in containers has recently been challenged. The Rotterdam port in the Netherlands intercepted a shipment containing a tangerine 494 kilograms of cocaine stashed in 1,950 packages. This alarming news was disseminated via the public ministry's social channels in Rotterdam towards the close of August. Surprisingly, Costa Rica Security Minister Mario Zamora stated that there was no official communication received about the matter. However, once the information was verified, Zamora stated that the shipment had indeed crossed the scanner checkpoint within Costa Rica's border. The inspection of this shipment occurred on July 31st, a mere fortnight after the initiation of the revised scanning procedure implemented by local authorities. This particular examination was undertaken at Station 2. At the specific juncture when the container was being screened, the scanners was experiencing technical difficulties, Minister Zamora explained. He further elaborated that the equipment, predicted to last 5 years, malfunctioned within just 2 weeks of its deployment in Limón. It turned out that this particular scanner was the one that encountered the most glitches following the confirmation of the drug seizure at the European port. Zamora ensured that the comprehensive evaluation will be undertaken to ascertain potential lapses of elements that may have played a part as part of this oversight. Parallelly, the incident has been handed over to the Public Prosecutor's Office, emphasizing the necessity for a thorough judicial examination of the occurrence. Between yesterday and today, 67 incidents due to the flooding were recorded, with effects mainly in the southern part of the country. Most of these in the cantons of Golfito with 16, Osa with 14, Quepos 8, and San Ramon 5. In Golfito, specifically in the La Mona sector, homes were affected by sewage problem, while in areas such as Guayaraca, Pavón, and Golfito Centro due to flooding in various sectors. In Osa, the bridge over the Bolso River was affected, while the route that leads the Ojochal was obstructed by a landslide. Likewise, damage is reported in sectors such as Puerta del Sol, Las Brisas, and Hoyacero, where assessments will be carried out by the Municipal Emergency Committee as soon as weather conditions allow it. For now, the yellow alert is maintained for the entire national territory except for the Caribbean site, which remains on green alert. And following this, we have the weather information. Again, this Thursday, we have favorable conditions for the presence of showers with storms this afternoon and part of the night. The factors involved in instability today continue being high humidity content in the atmosphere, the position of the intertropical convergence zone, the early entry of breezes from the Pacific Ocean, among others. In the forecast for this afternoon and early evening, heavy rain activity with showers with thunderstorms is expected mainly in the Central Valley and the Pacific side. today in particular, in a more isolated manner compared to yesterday. Therefore, in the mountainous of the northern zone and Central Valley, showers and storms are expected in the afternoon with estimated accumulations between 15 and 45 millimeters, possible maximums between 60 on an occasional basis. For the Pacific side, downpours are anticipated, also accompanied by storms with maximum amounts between 20 and 60 millimeters and possible greater amounts. In the case of this site, it is highly possible that the downpours will extend to coastal areas of the Central and South Pacific during late hours of the night. For the Caribbean coast, no rain is expected this afternoon and evening, only scattered showers in the mountains. The municipality of Desamparados continues carrying out cleaning work in the areas affected by the rains. The Municipal Emergency Committee remains active, working in a palliative but also preventive manner in these areas. That is why they have asked to the National Emergencies Commission for hours or dragging to intervene in the Damas River, one of the causes that cause the most damage in this canton. The municipality urges people to maintain cleanliness in this river because in the cleaning work a significant amount of garbage and waste materials was also found. In solidarity, neighbors of the El Solar urbanization in San Antonio de Desamparados organized to take their own things and help neighbors who lost everything. Appliances, goods, toiletry, articles, clothing, and basic necessities in what these neighbors are collecting to collaborate. If you want to collaborate, you can contact them. Even if it is complicated for you to go to drop it off, they can pick it up, so no one is left without help. 11 hospitals of the Costa Rican Social Security Fund (CAJA) are on alert due to saturation in emergency services exceeding 100% of their capacity. According to institutional data, the National Hospital of Geriatrics and Gerontology is the most affected, with an occupancy of 180% as of this Wednesday, followed by the Guapiles Hospital with 179%. Meanwhile, in the San Juan de Dios, Mexico, and National Children's Hospital also exceed the 100%. The Fernando Escalante Hospital in San Isidro del General, San Vicente de Paul in Heredia, San Carlos Hospital, San Francisco de Asís in Grecia, Hospital La Anexión, and the Tony Facio in Limón close to list of centers doctors who exceed their capacity in this area. Hernan Serrano, General Secretary of the National Union of Health and Related Services Administrators of Social Security, indicated that the CAJA is making important efforts to address the situation. The CAJA's hospitals have the possibility to expanding based on demand, expanding the spaces for patients under observation, which is why they can have an occupancy rate of more than 100%. A new milestone was reached at the Enrique Baltodano Hospital in Liberia when the General Surgery Service performed the first repair of a giant incisional hernia with loss of domicile in the operating rooms of this health facility of the Costa Rican Social Security Fund. This means that thanks to the capacity, skills, and knowledge of the surgeons at this medical center, the patient did not need to be transferred to a national hospital to perform this intervention. Dr. Marvin Palma Lostalo, General Director of the Enrique Baltodano Hospital, highlighted that for the first time this type of surgery was performed using the preoperative progressive pneumoperitoneum technique where the patient was previously prepared. The Ciudad Quesada Health Area will extend opening hours today, October 12th, and Tuesday, October 26th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. to reinforce care mainly for users who, due to work situations, cannot attend the consultation during normal hours. For this Thursday, 4 work teams are attending the consultation for early detection of breast and cervical cancer. The health day takes place in the Victoria Building located in front of the San Carlos Hospital. Dr. Thais Chin Zamora, Medical Director of the health area, commented that users must go to their corresponding advice to schedule the appointment. Requirements for the Papa Nicolau are the following: not being in the menstrual period, not having a sexual relation in the previous 48 hours, not having had any vaginal medical treatment during the last 48 hours. The medical director highlighted the importance of educating users through these types of strategies where any alteration can be detected early. And if you have a cat or a dog as a pet and you want to neuter it, this Wednesday, October 18, a low-cost neutral campaign will be carried out at Isabella's house in the Delicias de Nosara de Nicoya. The price of castration is 4,500 colones. However, if the weight of the animal is between 19 kilograms to 25 kilograms, an additional 5,000 colones will be charged. Interested people can make an appointment by writing a message by WhatsApp to phone number 60167728, which must indicate the following information: the name of the person in charge of taking the pet, if it is a dog or a cat, to include the pet in the bill. The activity is organized by low-cost castrations in Nicoya. The Association of Composers and Musical Authors, ACAM, will grant discounts of between 10% and 58% in its rate for SMEs registered with the Ministry of Economy. This benefit will impact, starting in December, restaurants, hair salons, gymnasios, among others, that use music in their premises. In addition, ACAM will also conduct training in intellectual property issues to promote the recognition of the rights of composers and authors. The procedure to obtain SME condition from the Ministry of Economy is free and is provided to people and companies that comply with the requirements of the law. The educational organization Carretica Cuentera launched its new children's book, The Sound of My Emotions, an illustrated story in Spanish and English which promotes the importance of taking care of emotions and mental health from children. The launch activity took place on the morning of this October 10th in the auditorium of the Buenaventura Corrales Bermudez School in San Jose and was attended by the Minister of Culture and Youth, Nayuribe Guadamus. The book, The Sound of My Emotions, will reach about 750 school children in San Jose and Heredia and includes an interactive approach using QR codes that allow girls and boys to hear what the emotions of the main character in the story sounds like. The lizard, Poncho, the interactive tool with QR codes, gives school children a unique opportunity to explore the world of emotions and connect with their own feelings in a fun and immersive way. The project is possible through the support of the scholarship program for the promotion of literary arts of the Colegio de Costa Rica, an entity that promotes the literary arts, and it's part of the Ministry of Culture and Youth. The publication represents a joint effort to promote mental health for children. Nayuribe Guadamus Rosales, Minister of Culture and Youth, stated that reading plays a fundamental role in the education of girls and boys. She welcomed the fact that this interactive book reached Costa Rican classrooms, as it is a valuable tool to talk more in classrooms and homes about the importance of taking care of our emotions through dialogue and empathy. On October 14, a segment of the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica is set to experience the annular solar eclipse. This fascinating event will also be visible in certain areas of North America as well as part of Central and South America. In Costa Rica, the best places to witness this wonderful occurrence stretch from Barra del Colorado, passes through Limon, and extends to the South Caribbean, specifically up to Manzanillo. Yet not every part of the country will be the privilege of witnessing the full spectacle. Places like Liberia, Nicoya, Punta Arenas, Golfito, and the metropolitan area will only see a partial version of the eclipse. As detailed by the Planetarium of the University of Costa Rica, the natural phenomenon is scheduled to begin at 10 a.m., reaching its climax at noon. NASA describes an annular solar eclipse as a scenario in which the moon, despite being in perfect alignment between the sun and the earth, is at its greatest distance from our planet. When observed, the moon will resemble a dark disk overshadowed by another large luminescent disk, creating a ring-like aura around the moon. Given the magnificence of the event, many would be tempted to view it directly. However, both the planetarium and NASA strongly advise against doing so without proper precautions. Regular sunglasses, lenses, or mark shift shields like aluminum foil are inadequate for safe viewing. Direct exposure to the eclipse could quickly damage the retina. Instead, it's advised to use specialized filters that can effectively block ultraviolet and solar infrared radiation. The American Academy of Ophthalmology even warns that continuous direct exposure could result in irreversible damage to the retina and, in extreme cases, could lead to complete vision loss. The Costa Rican government has announced an extension of the maximum staying period for foreign tourists visiting on tourist visas from 90 days to 180 days. The new regulation, which came into effect in September 2023, applies to passport holders from countries that are visa exempt, including the United States, Canada, and most European nations. The decision to increase the permit length of stay for tourists was made in consultation with the National Chamber of Tourism, Canatur. Canatur has long advocated that the previous 90-day limit was insufficient for visitors to fully experience all that Costa Rica has to offer. The extended 180-day stay period is forecast to deliver a major boost of Costa Rican's vital tourism industry and wider economy. Tourism generates significant revenue for businesses across Costa Rica. The longer tourists can remain in the country, the more money they will inject in hotels, restaurants, tour operations, transportation services, and more. The regulation change also aims to enhance Costa Rica's appeal as a destination, allowing leisure visitors more time to explore its abundance of natural wonders, from stunning beaches to lush rainforests and impressive volcanoes. With 6 additional months, tourists can better experience the Celebrate Pura Vida lifestyle. With the framework of World Day Against Breast Cancer, the Enrique Baltodano Briceño Hospital in Liberia will carry out a pink walk this Friday, October 13 at 8 in the morning. Once the walk is finished, there will be an entrepreneurship fair at the medical center. Women will also have the opportunity to participate in the mammography campaign, which has limited space, which will take place from 8 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. The activity is organized by the chemotherapy unit and the oncological pharmacy of the Liberia Hospital. The art exhibition of the Embassy of Israel called Ancestral Legacy, which includes painting, engraving, ceramics, photography, and music, was inaugurated this Wednesday at the headquarters of the State University at the distance in Coya, Guanacaste. With this traveling project, the Embassy of Israel celebrated the bicentenary of Costa Rica. In addition, due to its significant ancestral legacy, it was declared of cultural interest through an executive agreement of the government of the Republic of Costa Rica. The municipality of Carrillo and the Institute of Rural Development in there signed an agreement to carry out the second stage of the rainfall release and street improvement project of the Copevelén settlement in the Los Molinos II sector. The work will improve the quality of life of the inhabitants of this community, which was suffered from floods in homes for years. This Friday, October 13, from 7 a.m., a campaign to clean up the mangroves will be carried out on the Hermosa and Panama beaches. The objective of the activity is to collect all the waste from the mangroves so that it does not contaminate the water of the estero or affect the marine fauna. If you want to be part of the group of volunteers who join this campaign, you can contact Sylvia Campos by phone 83695329, as you see in the screen right now.
A different and fun podcast. From Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. and replay at 8 p.m. Political interviews, current affairs, sports, and conversation among friends. My program. Only here in Trivision Channel 36.
Thank you so much for continuing watching 36 News. We are going to move now to the international field. As Hamas militants and rockets enter Israel Saturday, so to did a barrage of disinformation. The conflict is being fought not only on the ground but also in the internet.
Bombings and airstrikes blast targets across Israel and Gaza following Hamas's deadly terror attack on Israel Saturday and Israel's counteroffensive. At the same time, disinformation about the conflict exploded online with a force that has shocked analysts.
It is worse than the lead up or following January 6th. It's worse than the height of the COVID-19 pandemic or vaccination rollouts. This is just quite frankly the most intense amount of misinformation that I've seen spread on social media as far back as I can remember.
Among the posts going viral on platforms like TikTok and X that groups like MediaWise are working to debunk is this fake video clip. It claims that Ukraine smuggles weapons to Hamas, and it has racked up close to 1 million views, but the post and video are false. Another shows children in cages and claims that they are Israelis kidnapped by Hamas, but watchdogs found that the video was posted on TikTok days before Saturday's attack. And in this last example, both the post and the reporter are fake. The BBC has neither a correspondent by the name of Verona Mark, nor a talk show called American Inside. X later suspended the account for violating platform rules. In an active conflict zone, journalists can't always access the hardest hit areas, which creates information voids, and disinformation often fills that vacuum.
It means that a lot of the misinformation and propaganda online can undermine efforts for, timely, accurate information that the public needs, and also millions around the world.
Social media can help journalists broadcast the truth, but it can also allow false news to flourish. Some media experts have pointed out changes at X, formerly Twitter, including its staffing cuts that have resulted in the spread of disinformation.
I think by habit, a lot of journalists like myself, and then a lot of regular people, flocked to X, formerly Twitter, to find out what was happening with the Israel-Hamas war. Now, unfortunately, the new X, the entire trust and safety team has been essentially gutted. So you're not seeing the same amount of staffing that were involved with pulling down mis and disinformation and moderating even violent and hateful conduct.
The European Union on Tuesday reminded ex-owner Elon Musk and social media platforms of their legal requirements to not share such content. Musk replied via X saying his platform was transparent, and he called on the EU to list the alleged violations. Meanwhile, amid such abundant disinformation about the conflict, journalists must sort fact from fiction to ensure audiences have access to credible news. Robin Guess, VOA News.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel in a show of solidarity and support as the country responds to devastating cross-border attacks by the militant group Hamas. Blinken is meeting with senior Israeli officials to inquire what Israel needs as it seeks to free hostages held by Hamas, regain control of its border with Gaza, and destroy Hamas' operational capacity.
Residents of Kibbutz Masada in northern Israel took refuge in a shelter after a warning siren sounded twice. The Israeli army said it suspected an aerial infiltration from Lebanon into northern Israel, although it later said it had not identified any aerial intrusions from the north. More than 2,300 people in Israel and Gaza have been killed, with thousands of others injured. since Hamas militants launched brutal attacks on Saturday, prompting Israel to declare war and to form an emergency government. U.S. President Joe Biden reaffirmed that he and his national security team are working day and night on the conflict, and said he and Vice President Kamala Harris had spoken again Wednesday with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
And this moment, we have to be crystal clear. There is no justification for terrorism, no excuse, and the type of terrorism that was exhibited here was just beyond the pale, beyond the pale. As I said yesterday, my commitment to Israel's security and the safety of the Jewish people is unshakable.
Biden dispatched his top diplomat, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, to Israel as a sign of solidarity. Before departing to the conflict region, Blinken had this to say to any country that might try to take advantage of the situation.
The President has deployed, as you know, the world's largest aircraft carrier group to the region to make very clear our intent to deter anyone contemplating any further aggression against Israel.
Blinken said that the U.S. is also focused on its own citizens, that 22 Americans have died, and that number could go up. The White House said 17 Americans were still missing, and the administration had no information on their condition. At the United Nations in New York, Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he is in constant contact with leaders in the Middle East and is worried about a spillover of the conflict in the region.
I am concerned about the recent exchange of fire along the Blue Line and recent reported attacks from southern Lebanon. I appeal to all parties and those who have an influence over those parties to avoid any further escalation and spillover.
Guterres also called for Hamas to release all Israeli hostages, emphasizing that civilians must always be protected and that international humanitarian law must be upheld. He said that about 220,000 Palestinians are now sheltered in 92 UN facilities across Gaza, and that UN premises and hospitals, schools, and clinics must never be targeted. Later Wednesday at the White House, Biden joined a roundtable with Jewish community leaders to express his condolences and his unwavering support for Israel following the Hamas terror attacks. Cindy Sain, VOA News.
Many of you are personally impacted by what's happened in Israel.
Supporters of Israel rely in Los Angeles, and city authorities ramp up security measures, especially near synagogues, Jewish community centers, and areas that have been home of the region's Palestinian community.
Ashrat Sarfati, a tourist from Israel, was exploring Los Angeles with her husband and children when she heard Hamas had fired rockets at her native country.
I live in the southern district, just about a half an hour near to Gaza Strip. We are very scared for our family that still lives there, and not everybody have a bomber shield against the rockets, and they're afraid to go out because they are afraid that there are still terrorists walking around.
They were supposed to fly home over the weekend, but their flight got cancelled. Sarfati says all she can do now is join a rally in support of Israel.
We are here, we want to protest that we are here and we are alive, and we are sad for all these people that kidnapped, that killed, that butchered, that just been lynched by the terrorists. We are going home on a Friday, and we've been able to book a flight to being able to return home.
The Jewish community in Los Angeles consists of over 600,000 people. The city's chief of police has promised to tighten security measures in both Jewish and Muslim areas, fearing attacks on both communities following the week's events. To show their support for Israel, the city's mayor's office was lit up with white and blue, the colors of Israel's flag. The Jewish community of LA has been holding rallies like this one since October 7th, the day Hamas attacked Israel. This rally, attended by thousands of people, is held in Beverly Hills, an area popular with the Jewish community. Most of these people have family or relatives back in Israel.
I'm feeling devastated for my family in Israel. My brother is a soldier in Israel and he's going into Gaza probably. And I'm feeling so devastated, like my heart is totally breaking and that I couldn't be with my family right now.
My cousin missing from Saturday morning and we don't know how is he.
I have several relatives and friends whose children are now in the army, and they do not know when they talk to them again, when they see them again. We feel helpless and shocked, and this is all we can do here to show our support.
Los Angeles police have increased the number of officers in the street, and they expect the rallies to become even more numerous over the weekend. For Angelina Bagdasaryan in Los Angeles, California, NRI's VOA News.
Farmers say the harvest season just ending in Ukraine was a good one, but they face another year of falling profits due to the skyrocketing cost of getting their products to international markets during wartime.
When Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, operating a combine harvester became a dangerous profession for Roman Vitsko.
There were shellings, yes. One time the explosions were on both sides of the field I was working in. Parts of rockets stuck out of the field, and I had to go around them.
Roman Vitsko harvests sunflowers for Makariv Agrobud, an agricultural company in the Kyiv region. The company's land was occupied for a month at the start of Russia's assault on Ukraine.
The Russians destroyed an office building, warehouses. We still don't use 50 hectares of our land. It may be mined. It has not been checked yet.
The company lost several $1 million, says its director, Serhiy Valinovich. He says conditions are better this year, but revenue forecasts are still disappointing.
Will we see any profit? No, we don't formulate the question this way at all. We'll be lucky to break even this season.
The main factor is the rising cost of logistics.
We have foreign markets to export our products. The demand is also high, but there is the question of how to bring them out of the country.
The main road for Ukraine's agricultural exports is the Black Sea. Since the beginning of the war, that corridor has been almost inactive. The Black Sea Grain Initiative, an agreement between the UN, Turkey and Ukraine, as well as Russia, to ensure the safe export of Ukrainian agricultural products, expired in July. Using alternate roads means added expenses.
So now there are only two options left. One is the river ports on the Danube, which are constantly shelled by the Russian army. It leads to an increase in vessel chartering. Also, we can use roads and railways to transit products through EU countries.
Ukraine is working with its Western partners to develop a humanitarian corridor in the Black Sea from Odessa through Bulgaria and Romania, and some ships have already used it. The project raises hope that Ukrainian farmers will see better profits. Lesia Bakalets, VOA News, Kyiv.
And this is all the information that we prepared for you today. But before I go, I want to share with you our inspirational phrase so you can use it and inspire something in your life. For today it says, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Who said that? Soren Kierkegaard. And with this, we finish today's informative edition. As a friendly reminder, wherever you are or wherever you are doing, just have fun, take care, and also if you have the chance, help someone. I am Ricardo Acuña, and I'll be so happy to see you next time.